Today, we're digging into the strategic story of Mangalore Refinery and Petrochemicals Limited, MRPL. What we're looking at here is a company that's in the middle of a massive pivot. It's shifting from being just a cyclical refiner into a much more stable, vertically integrated energy company. For years, MRPL was basically a gamble on global refining margins, which are just completely unpredictable. It was this volatile subsidiary of ONGC. But over the last 5 years or so, the company has pulled off a total fundamental business turnaround. They've really been rewriting their own story.
So the big question is, how did they actually do it? Well, it wasn't just one magic fix. It was a whole series of really smart, calculated moves designed to build a much more resilient company. So let's break down the key pieces of this transformation.
Okay, first up, the OMPL merger. This was an absolute game changer. By bringing ONGC Mangalore Petrochemicals into the fold, MRPL created this perfect, seamless flow from basic refining straight into high-margin products called aromatics. The stuff they use to make plastics and solvents. This created a huge structural buffer, basically shielding them from those wild swings in crude oil prices. Now, a cornerstone of this whole strategy was just aggressive financial discipline. They slashed their debt-to-equity ratio from a pretty risky 1.5x all the way down to a much, much healthier 0.63x. And this wasn't just some light housekeeping. We're talking about paying down over 3,500 crores in borrowings in just 9 months. That move fundamentally de-risked the entire business and freed up a ton of cash. So what's next for them? It's all about capturing more value further down the chain. This refinery-to-retail pivot is a really deliberate move away from the volatile bulk export market. By trying to expand from 200 to 1,000 retail outlets, they're going after those stable, predictable marketing margins that their bigger competitors have enjoyed for years. And on the operational side, they've shown they can be incredibly agile. The strategic shift away from Russian crude, pivoting over to Venezuelan and Libyan blends, well, that isn't just a political move. It really shows a sophisticated, resilient supply chain, and that gives them a major operational edge in what is a very, very complex global market. And look, this whole transformation, it didn't happen overnight. It was a multi-year journey, right? It started with stabilizing after the pandemic and integrating OMPL. Then they capitalize on record refining margins to generate massive amounts of cash. And then they use that cash to do that aggressive financial cleanup. This whole path led them to March 2026 with strong earnings and some very confident moves for shareholders. So with all that said, how does this build into the bull case for the company? Well, the positive arguments for MRPL now really stand on this new strategic foundation, creating what some folks are calling a triple play for value. So this bull case really comes down to 3 main things. First, that aggressive debt reduction has made their balance sheet rock solid. Second, the deep integration with petrochemicals gives them that all-important margin stability. And third, let's not forget the sovereign backing from their parent company, ONGC, gives them incredible security in both their supply chain and their financing. And the results of this turnaround? They're pretty striking. A staggering 375% year-over-year growth in net profit for Q3 FY26. A number like that just shows you the incredible operational leverage they've unlocked. And with a price-to-earnings ratio sitting around 17, which is basically how the market values its profits, it's pretty clear that investors are starting to pay close attention to this newfound efficiency. But of course, we've got to look at the other side of the coin. The bear case for MRPL really hinges on some major external threats that challenge this whole transformation story. And these are risks that are, for the most part, completely outside of the company's control. The main risks here are both structural and market-based. Long-term, you've got the global switch to electric vehicles, which is obviously a threat to gasoline demand. In the medium term, the refining sector is just naturally cyclical. And from a market standpoint, a low institutional holding, just 2.7%, can mean much higher price volatility. Now, the most immediate black swan risk? It's geopolitical. The company's huge Mangalore facility sources a staggering 40% of its crude oil through the Strait of Hormuz. Think about that. Any disruption in that single critical choke point could lead to devastating inventory losses or just completely crush their profit margins. It's a huge vulnerability. So, where does all this leave us? Well, when you put the bull and bear cases together, MRPL starts to look less like a traditional public sector unit and more like a new type of company. A new PSU archetype that is both operationally agile and financially disciplined. And you can see this in management's recent actions, right? They were super quick to deny supply rumors. They announced a 4 rupee interim dividend, and they set a really confident target for their gross refining margin, that's their core profit per barrel, of $8 to $10. All of this signals a proactive, transparent approach that's really focused on shareholder value.
Which really brings us to the final, crucial question. MRPL has clearly built a new, much more resilient business model by making all these internal strategic moves. But is this new integrated strategy a strong enough shield to really protect it from the powerful and, let's face it, unpredictable forces of the global energy market? That right there remains the key variable we all have to watch.